I'm Shelley with Gallery Sati. I'm here with my little friend today to show you the Infinite Self-Love guided meditation. So what we're going to do basically is a breathing exercise and a visualization exercise done in 3 steps. The first step is to engage your breathing in a very mindful way in what I call the infinity breathing method. This is something that I learned in Tai Chi, and I've applied it to this. The second part of it is to continue breathing in the infinity breath method and to give yourself some self-love. You could consider it kind of like a personal prayer to yourself or a positive message to yourself. This part of the exercise is based on the teachings of Ajahn Brahm, who is a Buddhist monk, and one of the things that he talks about when you are giving yourself self-love and cultivating a good relationship with yourself is to give yourself messages of positive reinforcement, so that someone is always thinking good of you. It's completely valid for that to be you. And then the third part of the meditation is something that I have incorporated into it, and that is based on using symbols to exact our mind towards that positive goal. It's based a little bit around Reiki, because in Reiki healing symbols are used, so I believe that it kind of started with that, and then for me I just incorporated using all kinds of symbols, not just Reiki symbols, into this. So let me show you how all of those fit together. Basically what you're going to be doing is, the first step is the infinity breath breathing method. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be visualizing your breath coming in and exiting your body and making an infinity symbol as it does so. So this is why I have my little friend here to show you this. So what you do is, when you start to inhale, think about your inhale being a little bit in front of you, could be farther away from you. Either way, it's outside of you. So you're observing this inhale coming from the outside of you and coming in and scrubbing the front of your body. So your inhale, if this guy is breathing, is going to start out here and come into the body and scrub the front of the body. And then as you exhale, the exhale is going to start from the body. You're going to visualize the exhale starting from around the bottom of your body when your abdomen is full, and that breath is going to leave the body and go up the back and scrub the back and come out of the throat and go either a little bit in front of you or a distance away from you. So if the breath starts right here, it's coming in, scrubbing the body in the front, and then the exhale starts when the breath is in the bottom of the body and scrubs the back, comes out like this. Then the exhale finishes right here, and then the inhale starts again. So it's a little bit of a bent infinity symbol, but it creates that figure 8 or infinity movement energetically. You can also visualize, as you breathe out, you can visualize that energy going up, so it looks a little bit more like an infinity symbol. So that would be like this, like inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, so that's the first part of it. The second part of it is to give yourself some form of self-love. So I like to say this, it's just the way that I like to speak in that way. I like to say it like, may I be whatever. So like, may I be peaceful, may I be helpful, may I feel safe, may I whatever is going on in the moment. I think about that. For me in this video, my intention for the video is to be a conduit of healing for you in whatever stage of the journey you're on, and to give you a tool that could be helpful for you in calming down and giving love and attention and breath to yourself. So I identify with what I'm doing in this moment right now as being a conduit. And so I am going to say, if I were doing this just with myself, I would use my full name. So I would say, may Shelley Ann Tipton Irish be a conduit. But because I don't really want to use my name as I'm teaching you, I'm going to say, may I be a conduit. So when I say I, think about your name. You know, insert your name and your word in there, whatever you want to feel or be right now. You know, start thinking about that. So let me show you how that matches up to the breath. So if I'm starting my breath in here, my breath is over here, it's farther away. I'm using this guy as the model. So I'm going to start either, when you're inhaling, you can't speak out loud. So it's nice to be able to just do this internally with your internal voice. So this guy is my mirror right now. So the breath is going to start right here, and he's going to think, may I be a conduit. And that goes in. And then as you exhale, you can say it again, or you can break it up a little bit. So you can say, may I, inhale, and then as you exhale, be a conduit. May I be a conduit. May I be a conduit. So you're aligning your thought, you're aligning your breath, and you're aligning your attention to different areas of the body and of the world. Okay, so step 3, incorporating a symbol. So, okay, it's another form of aligning your mind with your intention for the moment. And you know, there's different parts of the brain that do different things, and when we are speaking or we're in kind of like a more analytical time usage of our brain, then we're doing more work with our cerebral cortex. When we are spending time doing art or looking at shapes or symbols, we are using basically our emotional brain. And when we're using our emotional brain in just basic ways, like I said, using art or emotion, considering those two things and just staying there without the labeling of words or the analysis of words, we're staying in that emotional part of the brain. So that can, even if it's very subtle and kind of imperceptible, we do a lot of processing and a lot of kind of clearing out the gunk when we just stay in that emotional part of the brain. So whenever you're using symbols or anything that's just visual or just emotional, you're adding to your time spent in that kind of emotional processing, which is really healthy. So this incorporates not only like a very focused intention for your moment, but also a way where you can use both parts of the brain that I just spoke of, and you can do some emotional and more abstract ways of clearing out your energy. So how do we do that? Okay, so we're doing kind of a complicated thing, and it takes a minute to get used to it, but once you do, then it's this really good cleansing. So using symbols, what I like to do is I basically draw a symbol in my mind when my breath is out here and when my breath is in the bottom of my body. So what I'll do is I'll say, may I, bring that in, and here, excuse me, let me pause. So I believe that a good symbol for a conduit is like two parallel lines that are right next to each other, so it's like an open space. There's no crossing, there's no obstacle or intersection, it's an open space. So I feel like that, to me, symbolizes being a conduit, as just, this open, contained path. So when I say, may I, and inhale, then I visualize drawing that symbol on the bottom of my body. And then as I exhale, I visualize my breath coming up my back and out, and then generally what I do when I exhale is I visualize my breath going as far away as I can imagine. Sometimes it's fun to be able to be relaxed enough where it can like go out into space and just be, free of any kind of like physical restrictions. So when it's as far away as I feel comfortable with in the moment, or if it's just out of your body and right in front of you, wherever the breath the breath doesn't ever end, right? But where the breath starts to want to become an inhale again, then I draw that symbol again in my mind. So it's like I visualize my breath going out, I visualize the symbol, and I say, be a conduit. So it looks like, if this is me, breath starts here, may I, draw my little equal symbol, my conduit symbol, be a conduit. The breath comes out, comes over here, and then visualize that. And then inhale, may I, symbol, be a conduit. So it takes just a little bit of contemplation beforehand to think about how you're basically going to bless yourself for that moment, and then what kind of symbol you can incorporate into your body and then incorporate into the world as a mirror of the good energy that you're bringing to yourself by caring for yourself in this way. So I'm going to set this little friend down, and then I am going to just come over here and show you what this exercise looks like from the side and from the front, and kind of show you some arm movements. When I started doing this, I started doing it where I incorporated arm movements to kind of help me understand where my attention should be as far as aligning with the breath. So I'm going to do it from the side first, because I think that that's a little bit more specific. So I feel my breath. I'm going to exhale all the way. I'm going to feel my breath out here, and then I'll just start and stop explaining so much. So, okay. May I be a conduit. May I Okay, now from the front. And I'm going to breathe first and speak afterwards just to mix it up a little bit. So I'm exhaling all the way. May I? Be a conduit. May I? Be a conduit. Try this out. It'll give you deep renewal as far as just your breath, and then adding in that loving intention for you in the moment is another layer, and then the symbols and activating the other part of your brain so that you can metabolize emotions and allow yourself to just focus on that pure intention for a moment. It doesn't really take much, like even just that, even with explaining to you and not having it be just like an internal process, I feel a little sparkly. So it takes a little bit of practice, but once you get it, then even just in a stressful moment, you can bring that love, bring that kindness into yourself, and just visualize that breath and that intention and that symbol, and it can really change your energy fast. So I hope it is something that's helpful for you and that it gives you moments of peace. And if you like this video, I would love it if you would pass it along or subscribe so that I can share this with as many people as possible. I salute you for exploring yourself and giving time for yourself, and I thank you so much for being with me. If you have any comments or feedback or anything like that, please don't hesitate to let me know. Take good care. Bye-bye. Blessed be.